We are live. Super. And we can start. So, super. And we can start. So we can introduce ourselves. Is this Mr. Uyong? I hope it is. All right, Kende, are you on board?
Yes, ma'am, I'm on board, ma.
Super, super.
I tried subscribing. I tried going into the link, bro. I couldn't find it before you called me.
Oh, no problem. We can do that afterwards. So let's get.
Yes,
So,
ma'am. Okay.
well, quite a number of the parents have said they will connect. Okay, so this is Mr. Young. Great to have you on board, sir. Do you have any questions for Professor Sue? Please feel free. So, Sue, I'm going to start because some parents have said they will try their best to connect, but even if they don't, they've sent in some questions, and I thought they were really cool questions. This is Kende. He's the one handling one of the geopolitical zones, and he's the one that the children were asking questions from Ekiti State the other time.
Lovely, yes.
And I have been having an amazing time with my students, and I'm so excited. And I'll talk about that one later, just applying and getting. Yes, your phone is muted. Is it, sorry, is it from us? I don't think so. Let me see what the problem is. Sorry, 1 minute here. It's as if I don't remember saying that people can't.
Although what array is muted as well.
Oh no, but he unmuted himself. Mr. Uyong, you can, Kende, do you have problem unmuting yourself?
Good evening.
Not at all, ma.
Yeah, so Mr.
Good
Young,
evening.
try to unmute yourself, please. There's no barrier at all. Would love to hear your voice, sir. It might be a network problem. Okay. Oh, he said it's not working.
Try it again.
Sometimes the network does go funny, but there's no restriction at all. I wonder what's going on. So Kende, do you want to go first? I think you should go first. So we allow some of other parents.
Yes, ma'am.
Yep.
Okay. Good evening, Professor.
Good evening. Hi.
I'm very fine, ma. It's nice hearing from you once again. So I have a question. Yeah, it's okay. Let me just tell you something, ma. I no longer teach secondary school students. I teach pre-degree students, A-level students. Mathematics, basically the science subjects. So I was with some of them some days ago, and we got talking, and they said the issue they have is when they see X, Y, A, B, C. Prof, are you there, ma?
Sorry, could you say that again? I didn't understand that bit.
Can you hear me, sir? Can you hear me, ma?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead, please.
Okay, so they said the issue with their sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you, ma. So they said the issue with them, they get scared when they see a square plus 3 something is equal to this. Once they see the letters, they get confused. They start asking questions like, what is this A, for God's sake? And I've tried to explain terms without number that these letters are figures. They just want to, mathematicians that said the questions just wanted to sit down and think of solving the problem. I've I've tried to use the chats. I've guided them on so many occasions. They just they just get scared. So I don't know how long it will take to reassure them that, just as I said the last time, they just need to tell themselves that they've not gotten the question yet. So that's the first question. The second question is this. Last week I had an interview me to teach our two children mathematics online virtual classes. The parents made it clear to me that they are scared. I asked them why. They said because I'm a man and they know what can happen, you know. There are so many things that men have done, especially male teachers, male online teachers to children. So they are perplexed, they are scared, and they just don't want to believe all I said because I convinced them. I tried my best to make them see that no, I'm different. I made them realize that there are codes of conduct that guide my profession as a teacher. I explained everything to them, but they just could not accept the fact that a male teacher would teach their children, and the two children are girls, 14 and 11. So, Prof, how do I convince them better to make them realize that the quality of the what they stand to gain is much more than the fear. That's number one. Number two, how do I how do I make parents to reason beyond the gender distinct gender disparity when it comes to employment to teaching children? Thank you, ma'am.
Wow. I'm so sorry you're experiencing that. I understand why parents are scared. Can I ask you some questions back?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you able to invite the parent to join in the online lesson until they get to know you?
No, we only had the discussion online. There was no class. It was an interview stage. It was at the interview stage that they told me that because I'm a man, I'm not a woman, that they would not want to risk it. They said they've had lots of experiences in the past.
And are you talking about
That is it,
experiences
ma'am.
where the teachers are being rude and upsetting the children psychologically, or did they have experiences where the teachers did something inappropriate in a different way?
I can barely hear you, ma'am.
She said, okay, Kehinde, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. I can hear you, ma'am.
Yeah, so she said that what exactly have they experienced before? Because they're telling you they've experienced stuff. Is it a case of the men treating their girls harshly, or there was
Not
something
actually.
or was it an inappropriate? They felt men were inappropriate with their girls.
Yes, ma'am. They said the previous male teachers were sexually assaulting the students,
Wow.
making chatting with the students at odd hours of the night. You know,
Oh no,
those
that's not
those
okay. Right.
unethical behavior. Yes, ma'am.
And what Sue was saying is,
That's it, ma'am.
yeah, but what Sue was saying is that are they not willing to be present at your training meetings, your teaching meetings with the girls?
To start off with.
Until they're able to
Yes,
be
ma'am.
confident with you. Are they
Yes,
not
ma'am.
willing?
They said the nature of their jobs would not
They're not
allow them
available. That's the
to be
problem.
available.
That's the problem.
So they said the nature of their job basically would not allow them. That's the case, man.
What we've got in the UK is a register where teachers are reported if something like this happens, and their name goes on this register, and you can check whether a teacher is on the register or not. And unfortunately, if you look at the latest case of I've forgotten his name, the very famous thing that's going on at the moment with the guy who died,
Epstein.
Half the trouble that Epstein caused was caused by Ghislaine, who's a female. So it's not that the children are safe with a woman teacher, because the woman teacher could drag them in to something
all sorts of
bad.
things, yeah.
So are you all in a teaching union or a teaching profession that's registered or anything like that?
Right now, Sue, there is nothing like that in Nigeria, so it's going to be very difficult.
Not yet. Okay.
Not yet. It's going to take, and what I would want to recommend to Kende is the simple truth: you can't teach those girls. But you could
not until the parents trust you, no. And they're losing out enormously, because female and male teachers might still cause psychological harm, and you're learning not to cause psychological harm as well as having an ethical approach. Is there any way that the church can endorse people who've got a clean reputation? Is there something the church could do?
That was what I was going to recommend, that if you want, right, Bokende, you could let them know that you're a part of MRN. And because I know you and I've worked with you for a while, we are ready to vouch for you. Is that all right?
And as soon as anybody has any complaints about any member, then Ma would discharge their membership.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's what we can do. And then also you can recommend a female teacher to them.
Yes, just for now. Until things calm down, and until either the church or the state starts a register. So these girls need to report the teachers who've done this to you, to put their names on the register, and then you can slowly, organically start a register where teachers have been complained about. And I don't know how you make sure it stays rigorous over time, because it's open to misuse by people who've got grudges against each other.
Exactly.
But it surely is possible to start something that then gets more and more checks as it gets more important. But I think this is so unfortunate, and in England that would be sexism and it wouldn't be allowed. But on the other hand, we have the register, because just because you're male doesn't make you more risk than any other any female teacher at all individually. It's just the cases they hear, and everybody is more aware of a risk when they've heard about it. So that's the problem. It's not the real risk, it's the perceived risk. So I completely understand, and it may be that you could focus, when you're working with girls, on working online with them. What else can we do, Teju?
We have to be patient.
I'm
what
so
you said
sorry.
is what we can do. Yes, it's painful, but that's it. Recommend a female teacher.
Just for now.
Yes, for now. And also let them know you're part of this network, and we're willing to vouch for you. Let's see how that goes.
And come and teach in the UK if it persists. So the first question you asked, I didn't quite understand it. I got that it was about quadratics. Was it about
yes, ma'am,
the variables and the parameters? Was that what it was about?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you explain the problem to me again, and let's have a real good go at this?
Okay. Give me a minute, please.
A parent just said they're finding it difficult. Sorry, 1 minute. A parent just said they're finding it difficult. So what I want to do, because we're on YouTube, I want to put it on YouTube so that it's easier for them, since they can connect on YouTube faster, and then I'll be relaying their questions. Is that all right?
What does that mean for us? We have to wait?
No, I'm just letting you know what I'm doing. Please, you should go ahead.
Okay,
But
right.
I'll be
Okay.
relaying questions from the YouTube. Yeah.
Okay.
Please go ahead.
Okay, ma. Now my question is a question like ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. Find x. Quadratic equation.
Is equals naught. Find x.
Exactly, ma. So when this set of students, they are pre-degree students, that is, they are preparing for 100 level in a Nigerian university. When they
Yeah.
see questions like ax squared, quadratic related questions like ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0, they get scared. They get timorous. They keep asking why x? Why not why not b? Why not? They just keep asking questions. So the truth is this: the students get scared. The
Okay.
fear
Well,
is
there's a
my challenge.
story behind this. Because originally a lot of the algebra was done geometrically, as you may know from your history of maths. And then they started
Yes,
writing the algebra down in terms of a variable plus, and they used words. And then they said they wanted to use symbols. And this is about the time of a French philosopher called René Descartes. And we can look up his dates, but I think it was the 1800s. And it was in an appendix to his book. He said, let us use the letters at the end of the alphabet to represent the variables that we don't know, X, Y, and Z. And let's use the letters at the beginning of the alphabet, A, B, and C, for the parameters, which are the constants that multiply the variables. So that's why we use A, B, and C as the parameters and X, Y, and Z as the variables. Obviously, we don't follow that all the time, because sometimes we give children questions like 3b plus 6 equals 10, what's B? So we can use any letters we like, but if as we go higher up the educational ladder, we tend to conform to the practice that René Descartes suggested. So then the reason
I didn't know this.
Okay, so sometimes history maths tells you a good story. Why the equal sign? Because a doctor in England, in Wales actually, who was I don't know if you know about Bloody Mary. She was the Queen before Elizabeth Tudor. And her doctor, they used to write the word equalis out in Latin, Aequuilis, means equals. And it gets boring writing that word out all the time. So he suggested, why don't we write two parallel lines? Because there's nothing more equal than a pair of parallel lines. So gradually, the conventions got developed by conversations and letters between people and the people who were working on it. So I can tell you as many stories as you like about that. And there is a lovely book that I'd like you to get. And I've forgotten The Crest of the Peacock. The Crest of the Peacock. So let me put that in chat. And it's subtitled.
Yes, thank you very much, ma'am.
A peacock is the bird with the big tail that's got lots of eyes in the back. I don't know if you have those in Kenya or if you've seen pictures of them. And this book is subtitled
I've seen a picture before.
The story about the non-European roots of mathematics, which I really like because I'm get fed up of how Eurocentric everything is all the time, and students from other countries keep feeling excluded. So I really like this book, and it tells you lots of stories like this, and how Pythagoras' theorem showed up in the old Chinese book of the 9 chapters of the mathematical arts, which I've got a copy. And things like that. So we can tell stories to the learners who ask these interesting questions. And then the technical reason why we use A's and X's is because what we want to do is give them as many formula as possible of things that we've discovered when we find the general solution. So we need to think through minus 4AC. Do you remember the formula? minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So if you know what a, b and c are, you can tell the examiner what the answer to the equation is, but you do it in terms of those symbols that you've used. And the magic is it always works. It always works. And we have to think, why is it b squared minus 4ac? And we can build that up gradually. So the way I would build it up, I might have to do this slowly because I haven't got a whiteboard, have I, Teju?
Would you like me to put up the whiteboard?
I'd love you to put up a whiteboard.
There it is.
It's still loading.
All right, it's finished loading.
Okay,
now.
okay. So if you would draw me a square.
All right, try my best.
Lovely. And then imagine that the gap between two dots is 1 unit long.
Okay.
So draw me some rectangles down the side so that the rectangles are the same height as the square. The square is of height we don't know because it's an x, it's an x squared. Joined on.
Joined on, okay.
Am I allowed to join in with this?
Yes, please.
Oh, look, I can.
Yeah, very much.
Right, okay.
Over to you.
So if I draw, this is the way the Babylonians used to complete the square in the old days when they didn't have algebra. All right, so that represents x squared plus 2x in area.
I see.
Can you see? That's 1. That's 1.
And that's 2.
And then the square is x.
I see that.
Okay. And then to complete the square, what you do is you split the x's in half. So if we scroll down a little bit, if we said x squared plus 2x equals 10, if that was the problem we're trying to solve, yeah? So what's x? Then when we come to solve it, instead of doing it with a's, b's and c's and things, we'd say one of those x's gets left. Can we scroll down, Teju, or won't it go down?
It will.
Aha. And the other one goes across the bottom. Whoa, 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 whoa. Let's get a rubber.
The rubber is right there.
Okay.
Right here. Okay, it's gone. Yeah.
And then so now you've got nearly a square with a bit missing. So now we add in a little square, and then we say x squared plus 2x plus 1, because we've now got an extra 1 that we've just added. And to keep it balanced, we've got to add an 11, a 1 on the other side, which makes 11. And now we can rewrite that, because if you look at the diagram, the square is x plus 1 squared.
Yes, ma'am.
So if I write that equals 11,
then that means x plus 1 is square root of 11.
All right, so now we can say, take the square root of both sides, and you get x plus 1, and the 1's come from half the b, if you remember. The b happened to be 2x, yeah? But we weren't using b's. So now we've got x plus 1 equals plus or minus, because because if you've got the square root of 11, it might be a minus number or a plus number. If you've got the square root of 16, it might be minus 4 or plus 4. So that's where the plus or minus comes from.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry, I'm so untidy. And then you take away the half b from both sides. X equals -1 minus b, but there were the half is coming in at the bottom with where the 2 is. So you have to explain this quite slowly. So I'm rushing it a bit, but we'll check you've understood it.
Yeah, I understand it, ma.
And there you've got your formula in a particular case. So I've explained where it comes from in a particular case, and now we can generalize. And the thing is, you don't need to think about the a, because if you're finding x, you just divide all the way through by a, and you have x squared plus b over a x plus c over a is equal to 0. And that's why you've got an a on the denominator of the fraction that's the general answer. And so I've got a way, whatever that b over a is, I've got a way of working out if I halve it, b over 2a, then I can make the square and then take the square root, and then I can get the answer in a general case. But what you probably need to do is to do it in a few cases. So if we start with, and you obviously got to take some time over it, but if you start with 2x squared plus 5x plus 3 equals 12 or something like that, or equals 0, you want equals 0, don't you? If you say, first of all, let's divide by 2 all the way through, because that's allowed, then I can generalize by having a is doesn't need to be included in this explanation, because I can divide by it. And then you can develop a general explanation. And if I didn't rush that, if I took it more slowly with the learners, I think you'd find that they got a really good understanding of how this works in generality and why the formula actually works. But most people don't do it this way. They go straight in for it works. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
You can do it all symbolically and prove it in a similar way. But do you think that might be helpful for your students?
Ma?
Do you think that might be helpful for your students?
Yes, I like the approach. I like it. I like this approach.
So what we need
I like the way you broke it
what
down.
we need to do probably is write a resource for the Maths Resilience Network Nigeria,
please, ma.
where we explain it
Ma,
and
please,
everyone
ma.
can use it.
I need to tell you something. Ma. The way we were taught mathematics, the way I was taught mathematics, the way I was brought up, only the strongest of the strongest students can understand mathematics.
Can you explain? I can't hear well. Can you tell me
what he's saying? You see, the concept that you've just illustrated, I was telling a parent from our school, I said, when you explain to those Ekiti State children last month, it was so sweet. There's this same method. Now, the simple truth is that teachers in Nigeria haven't been taught in this way. That's what he's saying.
Yeah, but most of the teachers in England haven't been taught this either. I'm a very old maths teacher. And what I learned in my career is that if you start drawing diagrams, and if they don't work, you get the apparatus out. And there is apparatus you can get, which represents x squared, x and little units. Yeah. And you can get virtual manipulatives. Next time we are prepared to bring some virtual manipulatives along. Where we can do this online and actually show them the apparatus online. But this is a system that we knew in England and America a long time ago, because Brunner introduced it. And now we don't use it anymore. We go straight to the symbols. So we forget to put the rungs in the ladder for the learning.
Exactly.
And then the Singapore teachers have learned it, and now they're exporting it back to us.
You know, that's why we're having Mathematics Resilience Network, and you guys been exposed to this, and Sue's mentoring. I mean, we're going on a minimum of a 5-year journey together, Sue and I, and she's going to be on board mentoring us for the next 5 years. So get ready.
Beautiful.
All right. And so you can see so many things that we're going to put together, like the books we're going to get across, starting with the school we're in, and we're going to send across to you. You just be faithful.
Okay.
But we can only help people
Okay.
who want knowledge. We're not going. We can't help
But
anyone.
Kendi, if you can keep a record of all these with us,
Yes, ma'am.
this is going to be a book which the children have written by asking questions.
Beautiful.
And we can write the answers and try them with the students. And if the students feel they need more explanations, we can put more explanations in, more rungs in the ladder, until everybody understands that by asking the right people the right questions, they can get answers.
And it's going to be free online, so you have access to it. Now, Sue, I have a question from a parent. I told you there are quite a number, so get ready. The first question is, our daughter is very bright and understands things quickly, but she seems to shy away from maths. How can we help her feel more confident and even begin to enjoy it? That's the first question. We still have 2 more, so over to you, Sue.
I'm going to start off by saying I can tell she's bright. She's hiding away from maths because she's found it harmful. So she's protecting her mathematical well-being in the only way that she can, by avoiding it. So what we have to do is to introduce her to this toolkit, honour what she's doing, which is saying, I don't feel safe in maths. Make sure she understands about the hand model of the brain, the relaxation response, the growth zone model, and the ladder. I've got a lovely, did we share already about the girl who had a tantrum with her mum every time they did maths at home? And then the little girl said, Mum, where's that circle diagram? This question's in my red zone, not my orange zone. So you can start opening up the conversation about what the problem is using the zone colours. And so your very bright daughter is being very sensible, because she's in a lesson where, particularly if she's a more feminine girl, she probably wants the narrative, the stories like the one I've just told about Descartes, that maths is a human endeavour. It's not just a load of abstract rules. People wrestled with these in the old days. The teachers don't know enough history of maths. She could get a copy of the book. And once you start learning in a way where you explain where these ideas come from and you make sure that there's a narrative, there's another book I can recommend to you. My brain keeps going blank on me, so I'll have to think what it is. But a guy who preceded me at Warwick University, he talks about the difference between instrumental understanding and relational understanding. So if I'm a teacher and I teach you how to go from A to B, you can only go from A to B. If I give you a map, you'll be able to go from A to B and C to D and X to Y and any way you like, because you've got the map. And what a lot of maths teachers do is they just teach the journey from A to B, so you know exactly what to do in that case, but they don't teach the relational understanding. They teach you a lot of rules which don't make sense and quite often conflict with each other. So when my very bright eldest daughter was in year 9, which is 13, 14-year-old, she was in the top set in her maths class, and the new maths teacher gave them some homework where for the first time they'd put a minus outside the bracket. And I don't know whether she hadn't taught it and she assumed the kids would know it or whatever, but those girls, for the first time in their life, they got 5 out of 10 for their homework instead of 10 out of 10. And I watched the panic spread round the group in the homes, and I phoned a couple of the mums and I said, don't panic, you know, this is what's going on. And the teacher went on to the next topic. She didn't stop and recognize that this had caused an upset, and this happens all the time. So I think your daughter's very wise. What we do is teach her resilience. We get Kendu to teach her online instead of having to go to the maths lessons. Here where she's at. So what I would want to know, and maybe Tej, could ask her, or maybe one of us could ask her, or maybe I could ask her online, is what's happening to you? Why do you feel the need to protect yourself by avoiding the maths? Why aren't you keen? And then when she tells you a story, we can start from there and we can start making the maths more interesting and more engaging. But at the moment, the maths tends to be taught in a way that's tedious, rote, isolated, elitist and depersonalized. And because she's a female, she probably wants a more narrative approach to the maths. And if she leaves it, but knows that she can come back later because the resilience group has told her everybody can do maths if they feel safe. If she waits till she finds a teacher who helps her feel safe and knows that she's not giving up forever, I wouldn't worry about her avoiding it at the moment because she's doing so well in everything else. But I wouldn't want her to give up forever. Does that help, Teju?
Super. And incidentally, in the school now, because I'm a lot freer, I am going to be mentoring the children from Monday to Thursday. And I'm going to first of all tell them, because once I started to tutor here, I saw some of these errors that you're talking about. And I have had 100% success with the children that have had challenges. And the first thing I do is to say sorry on behalf of all the teachers that have taught them wrong. And that makes them feel so safe. So we're so sorry that we've made it difficult. And every single one of them have spoken about the teacher that made it terrible for them.
Yeah.
You know, and it's been painful because in our school, we supposedly, you know about the curriculum. I use it. But because we're having teachers coming from different, like Kende was saying, backgrounds, they do the training, but they don't implement it properly. And it has affected some of our children. And now that I'm aware of it, because again, we're making sure that we get proper feedback from the parents and the children. And so I'm going to be talking to the children from Monday and say, why are you having problem with maths? Because it could be two ways. First of all, it could be the teachers, and then also could be that the parents are like, why did you get such a bad result in maths? You know, not talking to them gently and all that. So we're going to look at it. And I'm looking forward to giving you the feedback. And incidentally, I know this parent, and particularly the child, and I'll give you the feedback by the next class, because
and if that doesn't solve it, just for one case, because I don't want to be inundated, I will work with you and the child if she wants to start that process of building her resilience, and then she can share it around her school and around her community.
Exactly. And but you know, and the thing is, there's no child I've worked with, when I first of all apologize, they're shocked. And that somebody would really, you know, because it's like, you're a child, why should we apologize to you? And then we also can't change the fact that we have to go back to the learning gaps.
We have to go back to what the child has understood, the green zone. And sometimes, because the child's been in the red zone for so much of their math life at school, did I tell you already about the girl I worked with who didn't understand angle?
No, I don't remember that.
So this is a resit student. So she's 16 years old, and we're starting the coaching for maths resilience to try and help her prepare for her resit calmly and productively. And she says, Miss, I just don't understand angle. So we had to go right back and think, what does she understand? And we had this conversation because she had the tools. She was able to tell me, no, you're going too fast, slow down, then I'll calm down. And we found out that she understood clock time. So we talked about the 30 degrees, 60 degrees, 90 degrees of a clock. And then I got her to stand up and turn around different angles and talked about the degrees in that. We started from where she was comfortable.
Exactly.
And there was none of this, you should know this because we covered it in year 9, because she wasn't in her learning space in year 9. She was in her red zone. So she hasn't taken any of it in. It was a complete waste of time for her being in that lesson. It was really harmful. And now she's totally got it and she's sharing it with her classmates.
With her friends, yes. Awesome. Yeah. And that's, like I said, I'm so excited that I will be spending time with the children. I have more time now. And it's working here in the UK. and I know it's going to work there. So
So do we know if the parent's happy with that answer?
All right, let me find out. Let me see if the parent is online. If not, I'm sending them the link and they'll get back to us. Because she actually sent in her question that she won't be able to make it.
Okay, right. So in that case, let's go on to the next question.
So the next question is from another parent. And she said to me, she said she was going to try to connect. I don't know if she has, and she'll get to ask her question. She said because she's a parent in our school, and she was saying she's having problem because as she's teaching her daughter, it seems to get worse. And she thought she was going to get better. So she's now thinking of hiring a teacher to take her from the very beginning. And so
we'll represent Kendi then. Okay.
So I said to her, I said, when I meet with your daughter this coming week and I get to connect, because what I believe is that because her child has been in our school from the very beginning, but unfortunately, we've had teachers that haven't done things right. And so we need to find out. First of all, I would apologize to the child and let her know, because a lot of teachers blame the children.
Yes, exactly.
And so it wasn't
What's the matter with you? Why don't you understand me? And it's the adult that's at fault, not the child.
Exactly.
Yes.
You know, and then I'm going to get the child to listen to your video where they'll be able to see, because if I'm saying it's like, okay, she's a reverend, she's just being nice. But when they hear you explain to them, this is exactly what's going on. There's nothing wrong with you. We just need to find out what you know, and then we're going to take you from where you are to where you should be. And I keep on telling everyone, because it's like the general news is, oh, she made the highest score in getting into the university. She made 100 in maths. I had a lesson teacher that I connected with that taught me for years. I came back from school and we went over not just maths, but even anything I didn't understand. And that was able to.
So will you teach her the 4 tools before you start? Because they give the child a language to talk back to you. That's exactly. A bit in my red zone, in that sort of way.
Exactly. Because we don't have that in our training. And like I said, I'm going to be with them and I'm going to let them know. And as a result of what I find out, then because in some of our classes, we have 5 children, 6 children, and so we have the time.
Some of the reasons she might be getting worse, the parent isn't presumably not a trained maths teacher.
Yes, she said so.
So she might not be putting enough rungs in place, but even trained maths teachers don't do that.
Exactly.
But she might also, the girl might have been in her red zone and not taking things in for quite a while and doesn't want, she's holding some shame. And Brené Brown said, if you don't articulate it, you think you're the only one. So we need the girl to know that she's not the only one. This happens a lot, which is why we're so sorry. And if we build a relationship of trust, but also not a parent-child relationship, because I don't want to let you down, my parent, we're not going to create that relationship. We're going to start an honest relationship. What have you actually understood? And we know that you know that 1 and 1 make 2, unless you're disabled. But where did you lose it with addition? Where did you lose it with subtraction? Where did you lose it with division? Usually people, if they haven't lost it already, lose it with long division. But sometimes they lose it with fractions, because they're not explained properly, and then everything's built on the fractions. So a lot of parents my friend Alice interviewed had lost it with long division.
So I like I said, I will keep you posted. And I know that, yes. And then, so there's a second question. It says, I've always believed repetition helps with learning maths, but she resists practice because she feels it's too repetitive. So this is the mom trying to teach her at home. How can we handle this in a way that still helps her learn without discouraging her?
I would tell the mum, if you want to practice walking, try learning to run. So you don't focus on the goal of practicing the walking, you focus on the greater goal. So you learn something else which involves practicing the tasks that you're needing to automate. I agree with the mum that you need to consolidate in the green zone. Once you've learned how to do something, you do need to give those neurons a chance to sort of consolidate the new ones. But it can get pretty boring for an intelligent young girl, and you can overdo it if there isn't any motivation. Because obviously, if you're trying to get better at tennis and you really are interested, you'll stand there and practice it forever, all the different shots, won't you? So we know that repetition is going to build those neurons, but we've got to make it fun and interesting somehow. Because the other thing that helps the neurons grow, as well as practice, is this positive emotion, whether it's green or orange. And if we haven't got that, the neurons aren't going to grow very well. We're going to get this resisting part of the brain growing instead. That's not what you want, really. So
Awesome.
so there are some tasks on the Enrich website. Let me put that in the chat, which enable you to practice the skills without going overboard with and an example I'll give you from just off the top of my head. I'm going to give you 4, 4, 4, 4 plus any symbols that you like, and I want you to make all the numbers from 1 to 100. Is that possible? So it's like a puzzle I'm giving you, and it's obvious you can make 16 by putting plus signs in. It's obvious you can make 2 by putting in 4 divided by 4, so 4 quarters plus 4 quarters. But can you make all the numbers between 1 and 100? There's a bit of a challenge there. And what you're doing is practicing a lot of addition, multiplication, subtraction, but you're trying to actually answer the question, which is it possible? And I'll tell you a secret, those of you who are in the room, it is possible. And the first person who cracked it was a young Chinese Hong Kong lad who was in my class, and he had to help with serving in the Chinese takeaway in the evenings, and sometimes there weren't any customers, and he'd go off and do the maths instead, and he came back and he'd done it, and we published his article. But there are puzzles like that involve practice, but it's disguised as a puzzle rather than as a, do your homework practice. Yeah. Does that help a little bit?
Yes, it does. And based on what you were saying, I want to tell you about what happened because I have a student that I'm mentoring here, and he got tired of the way I was teaching because I was telling him to repeat. And so I just quickly said a prayer, and the next thing is he's preparing. He's going to be doing his IGCSE next year. So we're working on the IGCSE paper now. And he's all excited again. So what you were saying, that instead of, practicing to walk, practice to run. Take this very intelligent daughter higher. Because he was getting bored. Why should I learn the same thing all over? So we now he's learning it. And it's so exciting. His mom is like, I'm so happy you're doing this, because he now is learning how to run. He's only doing the questions in the IGCSE paper that he's able to, but he feels really that he's achieving something.
So he's got the big goal in mind. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And and what's even happening is I take him through the IGCSE paper, and then he answers it again, because taking him through it doesn't mean he knows it. And then he must get 80%, which is what I learned from the curriculum that we use in Nigeria. If he doesn't get 80%, he has to do it again. So he did it, and he didn't get 80%. We went through it again. This time, he got 92%.
Whoa! And how did he feel?
Super. And so we're going to go to another IGCSE paper. I'm not taking him through doing questions again. So from the IGCSE paper, these are the ones you're supposed to be able to know.
Yeah.
Take you through them, and then he does it again. So we're achieving the repetition because there's those highly intelligent children that they don't want to repeat the questions, but they will repeat the exam questions. So I thought that would strengthen what you've just shared.
Thank you. Yes.
And it's really working. We have someone called Oladejo and would love for him to introduce himself. Hello, sir, Oma. Are you going to say
Hello,
something?
ma. Good evening, ma.
Hello.
Good evening.
Yes, ma. I really thank God for the privilege giving me to join you this evening.
Thank you.
At least I've learned one or two things, even although I joined late because I was busy having a class,
Wow.
which ended around 8 o'clock, around after, so I have to join the
You're welcome. You're
program
welcome.
late. So I'm happy to join you tonight, ma.
Thank you.
So,
And
so
can we
God
find
bless
out
you.
who invited you?
She's a friend of mine. We finished from uni just
Okay.
97.
Okay.
That's Samantha
Oh,
Adeniyi.
wow. I appreciate her. Remember her?
She used to send us the invitation
Oh,
because
awesome.
we have a group of all our students there. I mean
Oh,
the whole students
awesome.
from uni just, yes.
Please let me introduce ourselves to you, and we'd love to get your contact details so that we can put you on the WhatsApp group or on the broadcast list, whichever one you
No
prefer,
problem, ma.
and send you materials. And basically, we are just not, this is Professor Sue. She is an associate professor with the University of Warwick, and she has been teaching for years. She's a world leader, and she is the co-founder of Mathematics Resilience Network Global. Okay. My name is
Okay.
Ade, and I'm the coordinator for the Nigerian branch. All right. I got to know about her because I have had experience with the a mathematics resilience curriculum, a curriculum that emphasizes
Wow.
mathematics resilience. And I got to know her while I was doing my at the end of my master's in the University of Warwick, but my master's was in educational leadership and policy. And so and management. So when we started talking, because I started to teach as a maths to teach maths here, and I was like, "Excuse me, what's going on? There are better ways to teach maths." So I was complaining to someone, and the person said, "You sound just like Sue. Would you like to meet her?" I said, "Yes, somebody that I can talk with." And we got talking, and that was it. And she told me about Mathematics Resilience Network. I want to be a part of it, but I was involved in a lot of things. Now I'm preparing for a part-time PhD with her as my supervisor. And the goal really is there's no money. Please know that we do not charge. Professor Sue is not charging for this mentoring session. She just
That's
has a
great.
wonderful, yeah, she just has a wonderful heart, which I just love. And she just wants to help anyone in Nigeria,
Okay.
regardless, who wants to learn how to teach maths right. And
Okay. That's good.
she's not only doing it in Nigeria, she's doing it in Kenya. In July, we have Mathematics Resilience Conference in Kenya, and we're going to be sharing more about it. We now have a website that she has set up that you can get all these details. Then there are lots of toolkits and information and papers that would help, first of all, the maths teacher. Because when we recognize that we are the ones that have to change how we're teaching maths so that that child will
Exactly.
get better, then the parent that wants to help that child to learn maths, because all over the world, the government is emphasizing the need to know how to, the children need to pass their maths exams and everything, but we have to look at the way we're training the teachers. And then any stakeholders, a lot of stakeholders, they're not parents, they're not teachers, but they want maths to be improved because they see how critical maths is in living a successful life. And of course, the students, children are welcome in this mentoring program that we
Okay,
have.
ma.
Yes, we do it every month. And even in the group, we're sharing as many materials. And what we're going to be doing is, we know Nigeria is spread into 6 geopolitical, I mean, it's can be divided into 6 geopolitical zones. We're looking for faithful teachers like you and other math stakeholders who will say, in my zone, I'm going to pass across this information freely to anyone who wants. I'm going to invite them to the maths mentorings and tell them there's no money involved. Just want you to learn more on how to be a better maths teacher, how to be a better parent, and how to be a better maths lover, and make sure that this subject called maths can be understood by anyone who wants to learn that. You don't have all this, oh, this one is a mathematician, that one is not. Every child, when I send some of the videos that Sue has done, you would hear her say, no child is daft. Every child can learn maths. We just need,
if they calm down.
if they calm down, yes. And
Thank
a
you,
lot
ma.
of the times
And
we're
God bless
teaching,
you.
you heard that, we're teaching maths as teachers, and we're not making sure the children have calmed down. They have maths anxiety. And so, and it happens, it's not everybody that's going to be able to understand maths straight off. And when they are having that maths anxiety, they're not dumb. It's just the approach has
They're
to be.
panicking. Yeah.
And so we're looking for maths lovers like you who want to learn how to do things better, and who would also spread the information. Everything is free. We're even bringing some books down. We want to set up centers where people can come and read these books and learn more and connect to all the free resources that we have. Over to you, Sue.
Okay.
Yes.
I will surely spread the good news, ma. Thank you, ma.
Please. Thank you.
I was hoping Olajo.
Oladejo. And then if you have any question,
might have a question.
Yeah.
I don't really have a question as much, but at the same time, I would like to know, because in one of the schools where I taught maths and further maths, we make use of instructional material, and they are so helpful. But most of the schools in Nigeria here, they don't have instructional material. But to me, I believe that it's only those big schools in quote in Nigeria that have some of these things intact. Because in my previous school, you don't go to class without the instructional material. And it was so helpful, because some students, until they see, they cannot understand anything.
Of
They
course.
have to see.
And that
For
is
example,
bad.
if teachers need to teach all the
Oh,
so sorry, you're breaking.
What's the word that what he's saying?
About
something social material?
Instructional materials. There's a scarcity of instructional materials in a lot of the schools, and that's true. Sorry, you're breaking because of internet. I hope it's better now.
Yes, ma'am. I'm just talking about the instructional material. That's what I just want to know.
So
why our teachers not really using this instructional material?
Yeah, but how do you think we can solve this instructional materials issue?
That is why I'm asking the question, because it's only some of these big schools that has it. Because my school now, we have what we call a math lab. And we have a lot of instructional materials there. Because if we are to teach something like all these shapes now, talking about areas, perimeter, they are more or less practical, not theoretical. Because some students now, they need to understand the concepts, not just this cramming way of learning math, because it's not English language.
Honestly.
We have to just cram.
No,
because some teacher will just tell them volume of a cylinder is per square inch. But instead of them to really show them how to really derive something, letting them know that you have your prism, you have your pyramid, and they have a general formula that they can always use to recall anyone they need. And they need to see the something also, especially when it comes to the issue of all these compound shapes, so that they can really know how to do their calculation.
Yeah, but from what you're saying, why don't we work together? That's why if you get on board, help us to identify such schools. I hope you understand what I'm saying. It might take time, but one school at a time, because it's obvious that our government has problems. But if you go into any developed country, you'll find out that they don't leave it to the government alone. The private
Exactly.
individuals, yes, and that's why we're involved. My husband my husband is a bishop in Abuja, and he's been leading our church to have a community-based school, subsidized, heavily subsidized, so that the woman down the road that is selling akara, that's bean cake, can put her child in her school. And they don't have to pay. And our own children were taken out of the schools that they were in, the expensive schools, and they were put into this community school so that the standard will be high. So it starts with us. And it started with him being very, very sad about the state of education in Nigeria. And so it was like, what can he do? And the more he prayed, the more God spoke to him. So we are the ones that have to change things. So once you see any school around you that has problem with instructional materials, let us know about it. Even as I'm talking to you now, I, by the grace of God, do have friends that are looking to how to support schools, and they have told me, okay? And so I just let them know, and even if it's one school that we're able to help, it's a beginning. But we have to look inwards and do our part. And as we grow, for example, someone like Kehinde has just finished a sponsored IPGC with the University of London. And the reason why he got that scholarship was because he was building his community with the knowledge that he had. And when he applied for it, we checked and he successfully passed the test. So we are looking to you. It's obvious you have this passion. Let's work together. It will take time, but at least, so you identify a school, you let us know. We reach out to our partners and supporters and say, look, let's flood this school with instructional materials. And you never know, if somewhere like India has been able to achieve a lot because both the government and the private individuals and organizations came together. Okay. Sue, over to you.
I would say that what we're focused on here is how to solve emotional barriers to learning mathematics. And what Oladejo has been raising is not an emotional barrier, it's a resource barrier. And obviously you want to work together to solve those barriers as well. But I think it's. I wouldn't like to overpromise my skills. I can't solve everything.
No.
I want to focus on the emotional barriers of being left behind, of being patronised, of being not given enough rungs on the ladder.
Both have to go together. I totally agree with you, Sue. Both have to go together. I hope you understand that, and that's why there are two of us. And so the part you see is not necessarily, so it's not necessarily what I see. And I hope you understand, Oladejo, what Sue just said, that you can have the instructional materials, but you're still teaching wrong.
I agree with you.
The children need to feel safe. So let's focus on getting the teachers to teach better.
To teach in a way that honours psychological safety. Yes, and it's non-trivial because we're so used to charging around and covering the syllabus. For those of you who are interested in following up the National Virtual Library, there are other examples of this, but these are online manipulatives that you can use with the learners, and they can experiment with them. And there's some resources for different age groups. Hello, Efiok.
Hi, Efiok. So I hope you understand what we're saying, Oladejo, that let's do the two.
Hello, good evening.
Great to see you. Thanks for connecting, even though it's late, but it's fine to see you.
Yeah, so I was trying to, but I got busy in the middle.
No, it's okay. We understand you're here now, and it's recorded. We're trying to tell Oladejo because he brought up the aspect of instructional materials, and we said, fine, in MRN Nigeria, we would look into that. But like Sue said, the making math safe for the children is something we can do without that many instructional materials. We can focus on that now while we're building the instructional materials aspect. Does that make sense, Oladijo? Are you okay with that?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, super. But please, we have noted that even Kehinde spoke the other time. I'm sure you remember, Sue, that look, even when he's teaching the children, some of them, because they can get their teachers to do the exams for them, they can buy papers, they don't want to learn how to do it properly. And so we agree that such things can happen. And then we have to go ahead and teach them values and work with the children that are ready to learn. So as we keep on teaching them values and working with the children that are ready to learn, I'm putting a motivational aspect where if you're ready to learn, we're able to encourage you with further training and all that. We agree that these things are going on in Nigeria and we will sort it out one step at a time. But our focus is making sure that with what we have now, we make the children feel safe.
So
Okay?
by what we say and how we build the relationships with the learners and the way we say, okay, you know, you can't do it yet, to constantly reinforce the growth mindset, the need for struggle, the need to reach out for help when you haven't got something and you're stuck, all these messages that we're talking about in the meetings, we can pass those over whether or not
to
we've
you
got
and help
yeah.
us share and have as many people watch the videos. Every mentoring meeting with Sue has been recorded and these videos are available. We'll send them to you. Share with as many people who want to learn.
Did Bill bring a question for this week?
Well, there's still more questions, Sue. Let me read this last one and then
one more, right? Okay.
Yes. And so this is a parent saying, I also struggle with maths myself and tend to feel nervous, even with simple things. I'm worried that might be affecting my daughter. Okay. How can I work through my own fears so I can better support her?
What a good question. What a good question. I don't know whether you're taking copies of Rosemary's book with you, but you can get a Kindle version on Amazon and have a look at it online. The reality is that if you do have nervousness or maths anxiety around maths, you are likely to pass it on to your child. And so what we need to do is to change your own mindset. So what I would ask the parent is to get her to tell the story of why she's become nervous around maths. What was her experience like of learning mathematics? And then I would introduce her to the safeguarding kit, the toolkit, the idea that the teacher might not have given you enough rungs to get from one step to another. And if you're climbing a ladder with broken lungs, it won't feel safe. So, or missing rungs. So, you know, you understand that metaphor. To understand that if you're feeling a bit nervous, it's okay because this is unfamiliar territory. But if you're so nervous that you can't think clearly, then you've got to calm down, and you can model that with your child. That whole process of, I just need to calm down. I need to do some 5-7 breathing, or I need to do some tapping, or I need to do whatever it is to calm down. Then I'll have another go. I'll see it differently when I calm down. Then you can model getting, you can model getting an easier task, like the little girl does, and having a go at a simpler task. You can model reaching out for help and asking somebody else to help you. And you can model all these resilient behaviours with the child. You do not have to be a maths expert to bring up a maths resilient child. You can develop your own resilience, recognise your nervousness and say, I'm going to do something about this. I'm going to use the toolkit that Sue and Teju have introduced me to, and I'm going to work on calming down, and I'm going to show the child that that's what I'm doing, because all those skills need to be shared with the children. But Rosemary's little book, the little blue one, has got all of this written down for parents. 10 things you can do even if you panic with maths.
I was thinking
to help you build a resilient child.
I was thinking, Sue, can we make the May mentoring class for parents? So it gives me time. It gives myself and Kehinde and Oladijo or Efiok to get at least 10 parents on board, and we take them through the toolkit so that May in celebration of Children's Day will be to focus on parents that want to
in May.
overcome. Yes, I'm just thinking. So at least we have one parent here who's, because I believe she's the first parent to openly talk about her challenges.
It's fantastic that she's done that. It really is, because Brené Brown, the shame researcher, would say if nobody's talking about it, it must be just you. But in reality, it's 1 in 3 parents in the UK. I don't know what it is in Nigeria, but it's going to be a big minority of parents.
I have actually spoken to a parent, and she's, but she's too busy. But this lady has made herself available, and I know her. So I'm going to work and let you know if we have, at least let's have 5 to 10 parents, and we'll focus the May one on using Rosemary's book. And then it gives me also a month to get as many of the books down to Abuja.
And can you check for me, all of you? I've sent you the link to the UK Amazon Help Your Child Do Maths Even If You Don't. Can you check whether you can download the Kindle version? Because it's £1.80, which in England is about the price of a double Mars bar. So I don't think it's very much, but it might turn out to be a lot more in Nigeria. I've put that link in chat. Can you actually access that Kindle version of the book from Nigeria, or does Teju need to bring over the hard copies? Because we can do that. And also, if it gets popular, we can get it printed in Nigeria. We can get printing rights from Rosemary and get it printed in Nigeria for all the parents if they like it.
I'm just copying the link right now for parents,
so that we can check whether you can access it.
Yes.
Well, not you, because you're in England, but whether Effiok and Kendi can access it and get to see it for a small amount of money.
Yes, because
getting the print copy is expensive, but the e-copy should be really cheap.
Quite true, quite true. I've noted that. And I'll let you know by the next mentoring time.
Lovely. I will look forward to seeing everybody again very soon.
Effiok hasn't asked his question. You have to allow him to ask a question if he has one. Oh, he's gone.
We lost him.
Network. But it's been, honestly, Oladejo, thank you. This is one of the reasons why we're here. And please do let Samantha, please tell her thank you for always sharing, even though she's not here herself, and I know why. But you are here, and if you'd like to send me your number, that would be wonderful. If you can put it on the chat now, so that I would add you to the group and you can have access to all the materials. And
is Kendi offering to build a resource up about this Babylonian way of completing the square?
Over to you, Kendi.
Yeah, I'm back. It's like my network has been going up off and on.
We thank God for the Nigeria we're building. So do you have any question for Sue today?
Yeah, I think the last conversation was very interesting about the one with the parents. So I think that's a very nice one because, if the parents are in line with the tutor, I think this math thing will be watered down. So I think I really give kudos to that parent. It's a very nice one.
Well, I have to tell you that's because our school emphasizes parental involvement, and she's a parent in our school. So can I steal that glory right now?
Absolutely. We need to get parents involved whenever we can. Yes.
Yes. Incidentally, so that's what my paper in Kenya is going to be about. I am so excited about it.
Excellent. It's worth saying to everybody, if you feel you've got something already that you want to say to the conference, we can support you to write a paper about what's happening when you use these ideas in classroom. But I don't want to put you under pressure. You could just attend. and that could be online, or you could visit Kenya. And then next time, because this is our 5th conference, next time you could present a paper, because we want practitioners to be as much as involved as the academics, so that all of us are working together to solve the problem. So telling stories from the classroom is really important to us. So if you want to put in a paper, or if you want to just come along and listen and watch and think about it, it's up to you. And then maybe you could put a paper in next time.
We'll surely make the online link available.
Okay, that's a nice one.
Okay,
Awesome.
see you next time. I'm going to have to go, otherwise
Yes,
my
I know.
husband might leave.
You've been simply amazing.
Before you go, please, the Amazon link, I didn't get it. As in, the network made me go off, and I think I
All right,
lost it. I don't know if you can report it.
I'm just going to put it there again, and then I'm going to send it to you now. Is that okay?
Okay. Thank you very much.
Sorry about that, and thank you for asking us.
All right, no problem.
That's why
Next
we're
time,
here.
I know it will be clearer than this. It's like rain fell. No, yeah, rain fell here today very heavily. So I think that's the cause.
No problem. But thank you for coming all the same, no matter how brief. Thank you so much,
All right,
Sue.
no
It's
problem.
been an amazing time again.
All right,
Leave
Sue.
you.
Sue, have a nice day.
See you next month.
Take care. See you next time. Bye-bye.
And thank you for building Nigeria. Au revoir. A bientôt. And Kende is back.
Sorry,
so Kende,
Prof
was saying, will you build a model on how to teach B squared plus or minus square root?
Yes.
Minus, is it not minus B plus square root of B squared minus 4AC over 2A? So if you build the model, we're having a conference in Kenya.
Okay, ma'am.
I will be there physically by God's grace. I'm going to be delivering a paper. But she was pointing out that if we can all watch and be a part of it, and if you want, because this is, and that's just part of the innovative steps she has taken. In this conference, it's not only the academics that can write papers. Teachers like you don't have to have a PhD. We want to hear from you stories of how you have applied mathematical resilience principles in your class and how it has worked.
That's cool.
So if you want to write a paper now, fine. It's coming up in July. I'll forward the link onto the group right now and to everybody here. If you
all right, please do.
If you just want to be a part of it, fine. But whichever way, let's connect. It's been an amazing time, and the work continues.
Yes, madam.
So let me just get the email about about Kenya. Let me just send it to you now, because if I don't do that, you guys will probably wait until next month again with my schedule. But Kende is now more available also. Kende, tell them about the IPGCE that you just completed and you now have more time. So he's coming on board as the secretary for the Resilience Network, and so he's also available. So Kende, would you like to tell us what you've just gone through?
Yes, ma'am. Okay. First of all, I want to appreciate God for the privilege to be a beneficiary of this world-class learning opportunity in the University of London. Courtesy of our Lord Bishop Bob Alonge and Mommy Aditejo Alonge. Sincerely speaking, the program was interesting. I enjoyed it at the beginning.